Okay. I just wanted to make a little video for Grayson of the based or baseless theory channel, or no, is it based based theory channel? Anyway, Grayson was having little bit hard time believing that the out of Africa theory claims that Neanderthals are connected to the root of the tree for the for the out of Africa theory, which is A. So I just want to show him. You know, it's so annoying. People, oh, show me the reference, show me the reference, show me the reference. I go through the references on the videos. Every time I spend hours on the references, going through the references of the video. Show me the reference. Okay, here's the reference, Grayson. I have the reference for you right here. Let me see what we're going to do here. What do we got to do here? What do we got to do? Okay, well, so for example, let me see. I'll just go with this. Why not? Wait a minute, before I do that, I make myself look funny. Before I do that, how about I just add the screen share. And here we go. Okay, voila. So this is the out of Africa claim, way up here. This is for Grayson. See that? That's where the root of the tree is in A0, right? A0, okay. Okay, so that's where the Neanderthal has to be connected, right? So it's not too complicated, right? Got the A0 here. My face might be in the way here, so let me see. A0 is there. So I guess that's not too hard, right? So we just go here. Yeah. So we got here, I guess. So we got the Neanderthal branch haplogroups. Here's a supposed common ancestor here, which is supposedly go back farther. But anyways, common ancestor with Neanderthal branch in the hypothetical Y chromosome phylogenetic tree encompassing modern humans and Neanderthals. Okay, not too complicated. Where does it join? Where does this common ancestor of the Neanderthals join with us? It joins in at A. Okay, human branch Y chromosome haplogroups. So there you go. The out of Africa claims that the root of the tree is with the African A branch. Not too hard, right? Not too complicated. Same thing over here. Cima de los huesos, whatever that is some kind of human. You have Denisovans here. Denisovans, Neanderthals, all connected to who? Connected to the Africans. And you get the Eurasians here. Somehow the Semitic population has disappeared. There's no Semitic population disappeared for some reason. But claim is that they connect to the A branch of the Africans. Okay, over and over and over. Over and over again. Here we go. Anytime you see an arrow like this, see the arrow? You see that arrow, this arrow? That's where the root of the tree is supposed to be. And where is it? It's in AB. AB, then there's an FH, whatever that is, a C, DE, DE, and then a G, and then you go back to the F up here, which is FH. Well, I don't know why it has an FH. It's a good question to ask, but because H is Elamites. G is Assyrians. But anyway, there you have it again. The root of the tree. And just in case that wasn't enough, what do we have here? Oh, what's this? What's this say here? Oh, what did it say? It says root. Root. A. The root is in the A branch. And then it goes to the B, right? The root. So Neanderthals have to be connected as by where? By the root. So the Neanderthals are connected to the root. Okay. So, not too complicated. I guess I have to go back this way, I guess. So this is what I gotta. That's what I gotta do, right? So here we go again. Neanderthals here. Denisovans here. And Homo sapiens here. Homo heidelbergensis. Then you got the L, which is mitochondrial DNA, L1, 2, 3, or 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then somehow you got a 00A instead of an A00. But this is Y chromosome anyways. This is mitochondrial DNA, this is Y chromosome, and this is non-Africans. So the root is first with the Africans and then with the non-Africans. That's where they have the root on a tree of human beings connected to Neanderthals and Denisovans by way of the mitochondrial L lineage and the Y chromosome paternal lineage as well. So here, what do we have? Am I missing something here? Somehow I lost something anyway, but no, I didn't lose something. So we're back here, I guess. A0, that's where the root. And remember that the Neanderthals are A000, Denisovans A000, whatever. Remember that? Yeah, well, let me see what's going on. Oops, not there. Oops. Wait a minute. Here it is. I gotta open up a special thing here. What's this? Huh? What? What's this? Oh, we got A0. Remember the A0. A1. Remember the A1. BT. Remember the BT. Remember? Remember that? Oh, okay. Look at this. Remember this A00? The non-Africans, you got the BT. B means B all the way to the non-Africans. See? So there's the non-Africans. The A0, what's this? What's this? Oh, what's this? A0, A00. Oh, that's interesting. What is this? What's this? What's this here? Oh, it's an A000. What in the world? Denisovans? Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Look at this. Elsidron. Mesmaiskaya. These are Neanderthals here. Neanderthals in Europe. This is Denisovans here. Denisova 4, Denisova 8. So I guess you got more than one Denisovan here somehow. And it's A00000 there. And the Neanderthals in Europe are A000. And then you got the A00. A00. And then you got the A0, A1, the BT, and then you got all the non-Africans. Oh, okay, so I was right. Grayson should have admitted that he was wrong and didn't want to because he thought he knew more than a creationist. So now he has to face the fact that the creationist knew more about his own supposed out of Africa belief than he knew. Speaking of which, well, let me see if I can go back here. I'll just go. Where do I go? No, I'll just go. Hold on a second. Let's go back here. See who's around here, if anybody's around. Oh, there we go. Dana's back. Doki's again. Doki, doki, doki. So Mesma Zak sounds Russian language. So, yeah, it sounds. You might have found somebody somewhere like that. Yeah. Anyway, this is a special video for Grayson, since he insisted on saying I was wrong about the A000 being the Neanderthals. Your gaps of surprise are so convincing. Gaspers. Yeah, they are, aren't they? Yeah. I'm so surprised. So let me go back. What's this here? Is this it? Yeah, maybe I can get back here. Okay, so go back here. Now this is the out of Africa belief. We have a representation of the out of Africa belief here somewhere. Right here. Try this one. My computer works. Hey, your computer's working. The out of Africa claim, the Y tree, A00. And what's the A000? That would be Neanderthal. And what's the A0000? That would be Denisovan. That's the claim. And the claim is they're rooted to the rest of us humans, because they're humans too. But the claim is that they're A. That's the problem. They're claiming that the Neanderthals are A when they most resemble Eurasians here. That's what the problem is. The other problem is that the root of the tree is not with the Africans, because the Africans are the youngest genome of all of the rest of the world. I have to repeat that, maybe. The African genome is the youngest genome out of all the rest of the populations on Earth. So you're not going to be able to root the tree in the A00. You're not going to be able to root the tree in A at all. You're going to have to root the tree in the older genome, which is the Eurasian genome. And then you're going to have to connect that to the Semitic by way of the LT to his uncle Japheth, because he's the oldest son of Shem. And then you're going to have to connect Nimrod, who is C, because he's the oldest son of Cush, who is the oldest son of Ham, to connect the African population with the Semitic population, as well as the Eurasian population. So that's what that is. Okay, so let me go back here. Go back to this one here, which is the same thing. It's an out of Africa claim. Out of Africa. This is special for Grayson right here. Now, I went through this with Grayson. He already knows this. The BT is B than the rest of the world. The A1, this doesn't say AT. I don't know why it doesn't say AT. I guess they're not connected with the rest of the world or something. But then you have the CT. It's C in the rest of the world. Then you have the CF. It's C and F, excluding the rest of Africa, because neither the brothers of Nimrod nor the other Africans have this marker right here, this single nucleotide polymorphism that Nimrod's descendants have, in their Y chromosome non-recombining DNA, and everybody that's F on down the line from left to right. So it's F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, and T, and C all share this single nucleotide polymorphism. So that connects Nimrod with his uncle Shem and his uncle Japheth, who all the lineages from left to right share this marker. And the one who doesn't is the rest of the Africans, which is the reason why they choose this marker to try to connect the rest of the world with an out Africa S&P. So Grayson's probably all excited right now. He thinks, oh, we got S&P markers proving the out of Africa, right? Even though it's the youngest genome. So then, same thing over here, and you get to the IJK. The IJK, I better blow this up a little bit. The IJK is a marker that's shared with IJ and K. It makes sense, right? Because the CF was C and F. So the IJK is IJ and K. K being the Eurasian, all the Eurasians. IJ being still part of the Semitic descendants populations. So how is that possible, Grayson? How can we have these markers connecting the Semitic population with the Eurasian population, and the Eurasian and Semitic populations? How can they be connected to the African populations here by way of this CF? Well, it's simple. When you understand that the oldest genome is the Eurasian genome, because Japheth is the oldest one, and that instead of gaining markers, Grayson, instead of gaining markers going from left to right, you're actually losing markers here on top going from right to left. So how does that work? If you can gain them going left to right, you can also lose them going from right to left, right? Especially if this is the most original genome. So K is the most original genome. So what has to be happening here is that the S&P markers are being lost going from right to left. So that means this population here, which happens to be the Jewish population, the Arabic population, and the I populations in Europe, which I believe are Dan, they share this marker with their uncle Japheth, while the rest of the sons of Shem don't share it. Only this population shares this S&P marker with the Eurasians. How's that possible? Well, it turns out that Arpachshad, the ancestor of IJ, is the oldest son of Shem. So that's why he can share this marker with his uncle Japheth, and his younger brother does not. But his younger brother has a marker here that Arpachshad does have, and his uncle Japheth does have as well, and all of his descendants. But then there's a marker over here that Elam doesn't have, or actually, let me get it straight. The marker that Elam has here, Asher doesn't have. So we're losing markers going from right to left. Elam doesn't have the M523, and Asher doesn't have the M578, and Aram and Lud don't have the M3658 marker. So since this is the oldest genome, most original genome, we're actually losing S&P markers going from right to left. And once we get to Nimrod, well, he can retain a marker with his great uncle Shem and his great uncle Japheth, which he does, and all of his descendants. So Nimrod and all of his descendants all over the world share this P143 with the rest of the world. So we have basically Nimrod is the only African descendant that has this S&P marker in common with the rest of the world, while none of his other brothers and cousins, descendants, have it. And of course, there's the mutation rate is a lot larger in the African population for whatever reason, whether it's the number of generations or the environment, radiation, whatever. They have more mutations in their lineages than do the other populations of the Semitic populations and Eurasian populations. So, if I can pay attention to what I'm doing, so that explains it. And maybe, maybe we'll get this straight and, get rid of this out of Africa belief and claim, since it's so baseless. And because of the fact that Neanderthals are not rooted in A. They cannot be rooted in A because Neanderthals have more in common with who? Neanderthals have more in common with the Eurasians, because they are Eurasians. They're just an extinct lineage of Eurasians, that's all. So that's how it works. So instead of Nimrod gaining a marker that none of his other brothers or cousins had, it's that his other brothers and cousins lost the marker that everybody else had, that the rest of the world had. Understand? But when you go down here to these S&P markers, these are unique to these lineages. Each one of these markers here are unique to each of these lineages. But the ones up here are markers that are shared by these lineages, but you're not gaining markers going from right to left. Since the K is the most original genome, the reality is that you're losing markers going from right to left and not gaining markers going from left to right. It's that simple. And while verifying that this is in fact Nimrod, and verifying that this is in fact Arpachshad, the son of Shem, the oldest son of Shem, and Nimrod being the oldest son of Cush, the oldest son of Ham. So that's the way that's working. There are real markers, real genetic markers that do connect the different lineages. It's just that the interpretation is exactly backwards, because you cannot root the family tree with the youngest lineages. You have to root the tree in the oldest lineage. So you're not gaining markers going from left to right. You're losing markers going from right to left. That's just a matter of fact. And if you studied history and you knew history, human history, and the ancient history, you wouldn't have made that mistake, like I didn't make that mistake. But I had to stare at this for like several hours trying to figure out what was going on with it. But thankfully, I was able to, have a bright light come on and see that, oh yeah, they got it exactly backwards, because they rooted the tree in the youngest lineage instead of rooting the tree in the most original lineage. It's that simple. It's that simple. It's that simple. It's not complicated. Not complicated at all. So I just debunked the out of Africa lineage with the S&P markers that supposedly proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that we all descended from Africa. No, we didn't descend from Africans. We all have the same length lineages. We're all the same ages, basically, except the Africans are a little bit younger, have a little bit younger lineage. That's all. But other than that, we're all the same. We all have the same age, actual age, because we're all descended from three sons of Noah who had their sons, or the 16 grandsons of Noah. These 16 grandsons of Noah became the nations of the world. It's called the Table of Nations. And if you studied the Bible before you tried to learn science, then you would have known better that this is the Table of Nations right here in front of us. These S&P markers are the Table of Nations right here. So that settles that. Takes care of that. Just easy as pie. Neanderthals used as a derogatory term to address a not very smart person in my country. I didn't know this is actually something. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of people used to use Neanderthal as like a caveman type person, but it's just an extinct Eurasian. That's all it is. Africans have a faster mutation rate because of them having children at a younger age average, I have heard. Thus, more generations, more mutations. Yeah. More generations and possibly other other environmental factors as well. Yes. Well, it's my conclusion that the Neanderthals are descendants of Japhet because they more resemble Eurasians than anybody else. They don't resemble Semitic populations. They don't resemble African in their DNA. The ones that have more Neanderthal DNA are Europeans and Asians, which are Eurasians, basically. So we got here. Africans have a faster mutation rate. Where is the missing link? I'm absolutely lost in this chart, and I enjoy the serious study of jungle jargon. The missing link, there is no missing link. That's kind of the point too, is that Neanderthals, if I would go back to that one picture, if I can find it, let me go back here. This picture right here. You have the Neanderthal lineages, you have the Denisovans, you got the Homo erectus, the Heidelbergensis, the Homo dedelis, and whoever else. But they're all human people. They're just fragments and pieces of bone of different humans. They call them archaic humans that are no longer have a lineage today. And what happened was these Neanderthals basically mutated themselves out of existence, and their Y chromosome became no longer functional as far as what I understand. So they no longer had any descendants, either that or they were just, came to an end somehow. But might have had something to do with their Y chromosome. Denisovans, on the other hand, I don't know how many Denisovans they found, if they ever found a Y chromosome or anything comparable. They don't like to talk about Y chromosomes of extinct humans because they don't want to assign them to a particular group. They don't want to assign them, for example, to Asians or Europeans or whatever. They want them to be archaic and way back here on the tree somewhere. But these are all human. The point being, these are all humans, and the ones that aren't humans aren't in our lineage. That's the point I wanted to get to. So there is no missing link. There's no Lucy. There's none of that stuff. Okay. Okay. Well, I think the people that have the most Neanderthal DNA would be Eurasians, but the ones that have the most Neanderthal DNA are actually the Asian populations. They sometimes twice as much as Europeans. So, because European populations have Semitic mitochondrial DNA, which probably cut down the amount of Neanderthal DNA that the Europeans have. But the Europeans are still Eurasians. It's just that their mitochondrial lineages are Semitic. So they have less Neanderthal DNA than the Asians have. And it turns out the Neanderthals had bigger heads, just like the Asians have bigger heads. Neanderthals had bigger heads, more intelligence, all that stuff. Anyway, so there's that. They weren't dumber, they were smarter actually. But anyway, looks like Grayson will be the only one not having a great Friday. Well, yeah, somebody got to let him know that I made a video for him, especially for him. And if not, that's his loss. Not that I want him to lose. That's why I'm making a video. But he doesn't want to come see the video. That's his loss. Because it would be good for him to, try to learn as much as he could about the out of Africa claim and whether or not it's right or not. Well, this is interesting here is that they have interbreeding between Neanderthals and Denisovans, mostly in South Asia, Oceania, and Asia, but also Europe. But I guess the Europeans have interbreeding with Neanderthals, but not with Denisovans. Denisovans have interbreeding with Oceania, South Asia, but not so much with Europe, I guess. But they do with Neanderthals. But the truth is that Denisovans are half Neanderthals and half African, just the same as Oceania and South Asians are partially Hamitic because of the K. I mean, because of the D and the C Y chromosomes, and autosomally African from Africa, and from the D and the CY chromosomes, which are, descendants of the Hamitic population, the African Hamitic populations. So that's where you get the Denisovan mixture. And it turns out that in the Philippines, there's a tribe called the Negritos that have more Neanderthal DNA more Denisovan DNA than the Papua New Guineans. Okay, well, I guess that's it. That's good enough. I just wanted to let Grayson know about the root of the tree. The root and so that he would also know about this picture. Well, if I get the actually, if I can find the picture. Oh, this one. And the fact that the Neanderthals are labeled as A000, and the Denisovans are labeled as A000. And that I was right and he was wrong. So because the A00 is African, the A0 is African, the A1, the BT is African, and then from the C, supposedly get all the non-Africans, but if you turn out of Africa upside down on its head, you'll get the correct connections and links between the lineages. So, because the African population is the youngest population, so it can't possibly be connected to the root. The root cannot possibly be here with A. So this root of Neanderthals and Denisovans cannot possibly be in A. For one thing, Neanderthals resemble Eurasians more than Africans to begin with, and Semitic populations for that matter. And Denisovans are just a mix of Eurasian and African populations autosomally. So that's it. Just wanted to make a special video for Grayson so that he can, be informed, because he gets a lot of bad information. But it's not our fault. It's not our fault that skeptics and evolutionists have so much disinformation and bad information and no information. Okay. Oh, hide current. Oh, I guess that's what I'm doing here. I always leave a comment up. But that's about it, I guess. Thanks for everybody's participation. God bless. Everybody take care. Stay close to the truth. The truth will inform us, enlighten us, set us free, and we can be happy forevermore.